My granddaddy like, well, granddaddy, you wrong. Your granddaughter's in there, and I'm in there for the long haul, and I'm gonna
Right.
show it to you. I'm gonna show it to you. So yeah,
So how long did you do? How long did you
I
do?
I did 22 and a half years.
Wow.
I have been retired now for 3 years now. I just hit 3 years in June 1st. June 1st. I had 3 years.
And when you retired, what was your rank when you retire out?
E7.
Ooh, you was up there.
Yeah, I had got looked at for. I did get looked at for E8. I was on the list, but my number was so far down. I was like, I'm not waiting around for this. I was ready to go. I was over it. It's a lot of changes that had happened in the military since I was in, and I just didn't agree with some. I didn't agree with a lot of things. So I was like, I knew it was when I wasn't motivated to get up and go to work anymore like I used to be. I knew it was time for me to go.
Right, 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 right.
Yeah. But I
So,
enjoyed my time though. I won't lie. I enjoyed my time. I got to see different countries. I did go on 2 combat tours. So I did deploy twice. Well, technically 3 times, but my third one wasn't combat. So, but my first two were. But I was married at the time.
hmm,
I have my beautiful kids by him. And yeah, I won't say all my time in the military is bad. I did have some good times. So
right. So have you ever had someone that let's say like was jealous of you because of the fact that you know what I'm saying you was doing your thing, you know what I'm saying, you know what I'm saying.
I think the only incident I had, well, I don't think I had more than one. I had an incident when I first joined the army. When I
Mm-mm.
came in, when I got to my first duty station, I had we call them NCOs. Which you were a military wife, I had an NCO who was
Right,
she was my NCO at that. I was a new E2 to the army. Both
right.
we're both light skinned females. Both from Florida, and she made my life a living fucking hell. Like
Mm,
she made my life hell. So for that first it was me and another soldier. She ended up getting the male soldier kicked out. She tried to get me put out, but at the time, my mentor, her name is Corliss. My mentor, her name is Corliss, and she came into the picture and took me under her wing. And everything that I became in the military, the person I became was because of her, was because of her, because like she taught me everything that I knew, like how, first of all, how to be a female soldier in the army. Oh, I swear that bee I think is gonna sting me. To how to be a female soldier in the military, how to act, how to deal with people, how to be a soldier, because that like yeah, I that E6 tried to put me out of the army.
oh,
And I
she
used
tried to get you.
Oh yeah, I used to cuss her out too. Oh yeah, I ain't gonna lie. As an E2, cussing out an E6 was kind of crazy, but you know what I'm saying? You can't. I'm a big person about respect is earned. Yeah, we're in the military, but you're not gonna disrespect me because I'm a grown ass woman at first. Granted,
Right,
when you become a soldier, they teach you to be a soldier and not a civilian. I lived a civilian life a long 19 years before I joined, and my grandmother raised me to speak up for myself also. But yeah, so I think and it's a shame that it was another female. So, we're talking about
right.
men going against women. And I'm going to be honest with you, a lot of times in the army, it's actually the women going against the women.
Really?
It's a lot of women going against women. Yes, jealousy. It's jealousy. It's You have women that are power hungry. Like even when I deployed my last deployment before I retired, man, I ain't gonna lie, this little white master sergeant, I don't know what she was trying to prove because I'm an E7 and you're a master sergeant. But oh yeah, I used to go off on her all the time because you're not gonna disrespect me or my soldiers. You
Right,
know what I'm saying?
right,
We're
right,
not doing that stupid shit. So oh yeah. Oh yeah.
right. Oh,
What's
I
going
could
on, chat?
imagine.
Sorry I'm missing y'all. Hello, hello. But yeah, so
Um,
you'd be surprised. It's a lot of women now that's like going against other women. And I think that's the only time I really experienced that was when I first joined the army. And when my mentor took me under her wing, I learned how to deal with people like that. You know what I'm saying? Instead of being
mm,
that raw, raw, raw. Even though I stayed raw, raw, but I did raw, raw respectfully. I was told my whole career I didn't have tact. So and I didn't. I'm not gonna lie, I
wow,
didn't. I didn't.
wow,
But I made
wow.
it though, and I
But you
retired.
made it.
So yeah.
So when you was going through the basic training, did you feel at some point you like, I don't want to do this. I just don't want to do this. Like I
Every
want to
damn day.
go home.
Every day. What do you mean? Every day. It was I don't know. I think basics, I'm gonna tell you this, basic and AIT are mental, especially basic. Basic was very, it was mentally draining. I ain't gonna lie. I got in trouble in AIT also. Like I said, I told you I was I was that soldier. I was bad. It was miscommunication though. But like I think in basic, it was mentally draining. Like I
Hmm.
remember I was there what like I was away from home for like what 2 weeks, and I remember I was doing good. And then when I talked to my mom and I heard my mom's voice, I broke down crying. I was like, girl, what you crying for? My mom was like, oh, it's going to be okay. And it was just so mentally. And then it becomes physically because, you're a civilian and you're learning the military ways. You're learning to do the PT and stuff like that. And it's constant. You have to learn how to shoot and, learn land navigation. So it was more
Hmm.
mental. It was more mental.
Hmm. Do
Yeah.
you feel like that since you was in the military that it made you real stronger
Oh,
as a
heck yeah.
civilian now?
Yeah, oh, facts. Most definitely. Yes. Now my body ain't telling me that because I done been through a lot. My knees
Right.
is hurting and my back, but hey, I get paid for that though. I get paid for that. But I think it kind of does. It kind of makes you see things different. It makes you see
Right.
life different. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like they always say in the army, like hurry up and wait. It teaches you patience. Like my patience is better. I still have little patience, but I have more patience than I would have had before though,
Right.
because
Right.
they teach you that
Okay.
hurry up and wait to tell you to be somewhere at 4 o'clock in the morning and you ain't moving out till 10 o'clock in 10 o'clock in the morning type of thing. You know what I'm saying? So I think
Right.
it taught me patience, it's taught me strength. You know what I'm saying? It's taught me how to, deal with people also. So yeah,
So that you never did got the chance to go to war like
I did. I did 2 combat tours, yes. Hmm.
you did.
I did. I
So
did.
how
I
was
did.
that?
I did Iraq. So I did Iraq in 0405. I was deployed to Iraq. I was with a medevac company, an air ambulance company where they were the ones in the Blackhawks picking up the soldiers and the injured people or even the injured Iraqis or whatever. That was an experience for me, because they used to bomb us all the time. And it was only one time I thought I was going to die. Thank you, Jesus, for, I didn't
Mm-hmm.
die. But
Mm.
yeah, Iraq was I think Iraq was, it was a good tour, but it was a hard tour. I did
Right.
my kids were 1 and 2 at the time when I left. And like, yeah, I left 4 days before Christmas. So I think that was a harder tour also because where I was at, they stayed bombing us all the time. So yeah.
So I
And
couldn't
then I
imagine
did,
that.
yeah, and then I did Afghanistan in 2010, 2011. So I left my 3 kids. Now by then I have 3 boys. So yeah, I did that. That one, that tour it wasn't bad. Like I think I had more of an adrenaline rush on that one, because I had the convoy. When I was in Iraq, I flew all the time. So once I got to I did Afghanistan, I had the convoy everywhere I went because being my job, I had to go around to the different fobs. So yeah, that one, I don't know. That one became more of an adrenaline rush. I kind of felt like a real soldier when I got to do things like that. So but yeah, it's hard. I think the more hard thing was being away from my family, was being away from my kids.
Right.
That was the
So,
thing that sucked.
so that made you, you know what I'm saying, like really pay attention to your surrounding, you know what
Yes.
I'm saying, so that you
Yes.
can make it back home to your family.
Yeah.
So yeah, I get it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You
So
become
when
very
you was at
aware.
there, so I mean because at the end of the day, did they have quarters to where the women's is right here and the men's is right here?
Yeah. Oh
Or
yeah. In Iraq,
okay.
I lived in a so not Iraq in Afghanistan. I lived in a tent with all men when we first got there. Because I was leadership, so all the leadership had to stay in one tent. I stayed in a tent with all men, and when I first got to Afghanistan, and then with my commander, first sergeant XO, our platoon sergeant,
Yeah.
like that or whatever. So my bed was like off to the side, and I had all of the ponchos. I had everything surrounding, so you couldn't see inside of where I was at. They didn't care. They used to get mad 'cause they used to spray the tent with air freshener and perfume and body spray. It's like, you fuckers stink. Like, god damn, wash your ass. Like, go wash your asses. Clean your feet or something. So, but then, like towards about the middle of the deployment, they made the tents different, where it was all by like platoons rooms, and then there was female tents and male tents. So about the middle, I stayed with just females, and it was like four of us. So we had big areas, and we, like I said, we covered it with our ponchos, so you couldn't see inside our little areas and stuff. But in Iraq, I had a chew to myself, an AC chew to myself in Iraq, because the roommate I was supposed to have, she was on a different fob. So yeah.
Okay.
Mm.
So when you was there, did you experience any? Because um back in the day, as me and my husband, we got, separated, and I was dating another guy, because I used to date nothing but military men. But
Understandable. I did
he
too until I got with baby.
yeah, I used, you know what I'm saying? Me personally, I had to have somebody I knew that had a job 24/7. Because you're in the military,
Mm.
you're still getting work when you're not at work. You know what I'm saying? So I was loving and enjoying the fact of dating military men. Um, but at the end of the day, I was dating this guy, and he was telling me about he had to unalive a kid because the kid had a bomb on him. So did you experience anything like that? You know what I'm saying? Where you had to pull your weapon out on someone, and for the sake of you and your soldiers, because at the end of the day, I know that you had to make the commands of certain things when y'all was out there.
So I never had to experience that, because that wasn't my, that's not my job. So my job, like I said, I'm logistics. So it was different for me. I
Mm-hmm.
was dealing with property and equipment and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I never had to go. Now I always did carry a gun, a weapon. I'm sorry, a weapon. I always carried a weapon, and we always had it low. It wasn't locked and loaded, but you had it in there. Especially when I would have to fly. It's always locked and loaded when you fly. But like
Right.
when you're convoys, it's in there, but you just don't, you don't lock it or whatever. You don't load it. So I never had to experience that in my career, I'm thankful. But that was, like I said,
Mm-hmm.
that wasn't my job. I wasn't a frontliner. I used to always tell people, and I still joke about this: if the war got to me, we all dead. The war's over. We're dead. Like they won, because there's no way that the war should get to a supply person. You know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
it, that's
Right.
that's
Right.
not that's not typical. But if need be, if I had to, I definitely would have. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what we're trained to do. But
Right.
I didn't have to experience that, and I'm thankful that I didn't, because they say that stuff sticks with you for the rest of your life. Those images, you don't unsee those images. Like that's why a lot of people
Right.
out there have PTSD. So yeah, I didn't. I did. Me personally, I didn't have to experience that. No.
Yeah, because I know what